The State General Laboratory of Cyprus, SGL, is one of the 5 independent departments of the Ministry of Health and the main official laboratory for chemical, biological, microbiological, toxicological and radiological control. Through its 19 specialised laboratories, SGL operates as the National Official Control Centre for Food, Water, the Environment, Pharmaceuticals, Cosmetics, Food Contact Materials, Children's Toys and other industrial consumer products, controlled drugs such as narcotics and other police evidence. SGL is also the National Reference Laboratory of the Republic of Cyprus in many areas of food quality and food safety. The State General Laboratory of Cyprus, responding to the needs of society, the state and the requirements arising both at the EU level and internationally, develops and implements, in cooperation with the competent services, annual integrated programs for control, monitoring and surveillance in the fields of its competence. The ultimate goal of these programs is prevention. Conducting applied research is a fundamental pillar of the SGL's continuous scientific and technological development, aiming to contribute towards problem-solving and prevention, as well as supporting policy decisions and legislation, while boosting socio-economic growth in all aspects of SGL's responsibilities. Through these research programs, it contributes to the prevention of factors affecting citizens' health, the protection of the environment, national security, as well as the registration of traditional and local products. Research is conducted mainly by utilising European Union funds and national resources, particularly from the Research and Innovation Foundation and the Ministry of Health. The results and outcomes obtained from the SGL's research activities are published in reputable international scientific journals and presented at international scientific conferences. The State General Laboratory of Cyprus, through its participation in committees, councils and expert working groups related to its remit, substantially contributes to the formulation, revision and modernisation of relevant legislation and policy strategies, both nationally within the European Union and internationally. Within the scope of its competence, SGL maintains close cooperation with all ministries and competent authorities of the Republic of Cyprus, institutes, universities and organisations in Cyprus and abroad. Through these collaborations, SGL strengthens its scientific development by exchanging expertise and utilising external funding sources. A tangible example of cooperation of the State General Laboratory is the scientific collaboration with the European Food Safety Authority, EFSA, through Cyprus's representation in the authority's scientific networks and its advisory body. SGL serves as a communication bridge between EFSA and the relevant national competent authorities of Cyprus, acting as the national EFSA focal point, which supports the work of the advisory forum. In this capacity, SGL maintains a multi-annual framework of cooperation with EFSA, which includes the implementation of targeted actions. The provision of accurate and timely information based on scientific data to citizens, competent authorities, the media and all stakeholders is one of the most important roles of the State General Laboratory of Cyprus. As part of its communication policy and knowledge dissemination, SGL continuously enriches its website with information within its area of responsibility, issues press releases and information leaflets, coordinates and participates in awareness campaigns at national and European level, participates in television and radio programs, delivers educational courses and lectures to the public, competent services and other stakeholders, organises informational and scientific events, hosts educational visits to its laboratories from school and university students, and provides teaching, when requested, at relevant national schools and academies. Effectiveness and reliability are fundamental prerequisites for the continuous development and improvement of the State General Laboratory of Cyprus, creating stability and growth. For this reason, SGL simultaneously applies two quality management systems: ISO 17025, the international standard for laboratory accreditation, ensuring the validity, reliability, and technical competence of analytical results, and the Common Assessment Framework for Performance Self-Assessment, achieving an integrated management system with continuous development and documentation of its technical and administrative competence. The wide range of the SGL responsibilities and competencies is covered by the following four wide areas: foodstuffs, environment including water, consumer products, and forensic chemistry and toxicology. Ensuring high quality, nutritious and safe food is a very important component of preventing and protecting public health. The application of new technologies, the globalization of trade and the free movement of goods, climate crisis, environmental pollution, food adulteration and food fraud, as well as other factors, continuously create new challenges and emerging risks for both quality and authenticity, as well as the safety of food. To effectively address these challenges, the European Union implements an integrated approach to ensure food quality and food safety, covering the entire food chain, from farm to fork, through legislative and policy development and appropriate control programs. One of the major goals of SGL is its substantial contribution towards this direction, in cooperation with the relevant competent authorities. Comprehensive official control of food is carried out at SGL by a significant number of specialised laboratories and covers aspects of both food quality and food safety, including their chemical, microbiological, biological, radiological and physical safety. Official control activities focus primarily on perishable and basic foodstuffs, as well as in foods that are frequently consumed in increased quantities, especially from vulnerable population groups such as children and pregnant women. In cases of emergency issues or food crises, official control plans are revised and adjusted accordingly, always in cooperation with the relevant national competent authorities to ensure effective risk management. Risk assessment from the exposure of the consumers to chemical substances through food consists of four components: hazard identification, hazard characterization, dietary exposure assessment, and risk characterization for the consumers. Apart from the laboratory official control of foodstuffs and the relevant data collection, SGL also carries out risk assessment of both chronic and acute exposure of the population of Cyprus to chemical substances through food. The impacts of economic and industrial development, transportation, climate crisis, among other factors, may affect environmental quality if the principles of sustainability and prevention are not applied through integrated environmental policy and the relevant legislation. The European Green Deal of the EU, whose main objective is to make Europe the first zero-pollution continent by 2050, proposes a wide range of actions covering inter alia, industry, biodiversity, food and energy. The substantive contribution to the implementation of such a policy constitutes one of the primary objectives of the SGL. For this purpose, and in collaboration with the relevant competent authorities, multi-dimensional programs for inspection, monitoring and surveillance have been developed to ensure the implementation of national legislation and European Union environmental legislation. These programs allow for the timely detection of both accidental and deliberate pollution. SGL is the main official laboratory providing scientific support to the relevant national competent authorities on topics concerning water and environment, and possesses the necessary infrastructure to cover chemical, biological, microbiological, ecotoxicological, and radiological aspects of monitoring and controlling water and air pollution. Several of SGL's specialised laboratories provide services that meet the latest international scientific and technological standards, while simultaneously conducting research on priority issues. Understanding the direct relationship between the environment and health can lead to more effective public health policies towards the prevention of many environment-related diseases. Within this context, SGL develops relevant research activities at national and European level. Over the past 2 decades, SGL participated and coordinated Cyprus's presence in European initiatives for the development of human biomonitoring as a tool for assessing population exposure to hazardous chemical substances, such as pesticide residues, endocrine disruptors, and others. These initiatives also focus on understanding the potential impacts on human health and providing scientific support for policy decisions regarding safe management of chemical substances in Europe. Human biomonitoring refers to the assessment of a person's total exposure to chemical substances from all sources and exposure pathways through the analysis of human biological samples from healthy volunteers, in combination with the investigation of exposure sources through epidemiological data collected by each country. In collaboration with the relevant competent authorities, SGL implements official control monitoring surveillance programs to ensure the quality, efficacy, and safety of various consumer products, such as pharmaceuticals for human and veterinary use, cosmetics, children's toys, and many other industrial products, including household chemical preparations, cement, adhesives, stationery, soft plastic items, leather articles, and more. Depending on the category of each consumer product, physicochemical and microbiological controls are applied by the SGL, as well as controls of mechanical or physical properties or other specialized controls, such as flammability in toys and clothing items. Contemporary methods of crime investigation increasingly require the involvement of advanced scientific methodologies in the examination of all types of police exhibits collected from the crime scene. SGL is the principal coordinator of Cyprus Police in the analysis of police exhibits and provides scientific evidence to the police to investigate cases for judicial proceedings. Each year, SGL analyses more than 4,000 police exhibits by applying state-of-the-art technology. Police exhibits submitted for analysis at the SGL mainly include narcotic substances, biological samples for the detection of drugs, pharmaceuticals, and other toxic substances, samples for the possible detection of flammable and explosive materials, as well as other materials of unknown composition and origin. SGL's main objective is to support the police in fighting crime and impart justice by conducting laboratory examinations, evaluating the obtained analytical results for their proper evaluation and interpretation, as well as to the provision of expert scientific testimony in court. SGL's activities are governed by the principles of scientific excellence, independence, integrity, avoidance of conflicts of interest, transparency, and proactiveness, ensuring compliance with constitutional requirements and the requirements of the Public Service Law, as well as meeting citizens' expectations.